We're here with Sbnation's JP Acosta. Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at Acosta32_JP on Twitter. I write a lot about football for Sbnation now. Just started the job. It's really fun. So I write about college, NFL draft, basically anywhere where there's football, you'll probably find me there.
Perfect. But today we're not here to talk about his thoughts on the upcoming NFL season. I guess we kind of are. What we're going to do is I'm going to give my NFL predictions, and you are just going to roast them. For each division and for the awards, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, I'm just going to put 2 minutes on the clock. You don't have to use the whole 2 minutes. But I am not going to defend myself unless specifically asked to. First, we're going to start in the NFC. I'm going to give my predictions for the NFC North, where I have the Packers winning the division at 12-5, the Vikings at 9-8, the Lions at 5-12. I'm sorry to all our Detroit fan BULLYBALL followers, and the Bears at 3-14. So I am going to start the clock. Do whatever you need to do.
We're starting off tame. We're starting off real tame with the takes. I think this is probably the easiest, most cut and dry division in football right now because the Packers are really good and everybody else probably isn't. I mean, the Vikings, we still don't know what the Vikings actually are or what they're going to be. That offense might be mind-bending, but it also might hit real lulls where we wonder, like, if Kirk Cousins is actually an NFL quarterback or is he just a psyop or a robot made to get $30 million guaranteed every year. I still do have questions about that defense. I don't think they have a lot of depth. I don't think the top-end talent is there anymore. And now you're relying on Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith as your pass rushers when they haven't played a full season in the past 2 years. And then the Lions, they're going to be – so you know how the NBA has the League Pass Team of the Year?
Yeah.
The Lions are the League Pass Team of the Year. Like, they're going to be really bad, but they're going to make it close. They're going to be fun bad. The Bears are just going to be bad. Like, I have no – like, they might have the worst record in the league this year. So, we're starting off tame. Starting off tame with the picks. I like the order. I like the records. I'd probably have Detroit maybe a little worse, but it's fine.
I'm glad I didn't have to defend anything here. A lot of Lions fans are a little out ahead of their skis here. It's good to be optimistic about your team, but the Lions at 10 wins, Jared Goff at quarterback.
They are a fun team to root for. That is still a bad team that is years away from being competitive, and that's fine. I think the thing for Lions fans right now is they need to understand that the process is really good right now. You can see the vision for the Dan Campbell team. And that's all you really want because Matt Patricia didn't have a vision. You know what Dan Campbell wants to do. You can see it in the players he's bringing in. Now it just has to come down to execution. You're going to need more good players. You're going to need more top-end talent in order for that vision to be executed. So 10 wins right now, no. let's pump the brakes real quick. Let's relax.
Next, we're going to move across to the AFC North. Don't know how spicy this one would be considered winning the division. I have the Ravens at 12-5. Second, I have the Bengals at 11-6, the Browns at 7-10, and the Steelers at 6-11. So I'm going to put 2 minutes back on the clock and go.
I kind of feel like the Steelers might have a better record than the Browns at the end of the year. And really, it just comes down to I don't have faith in Jacoby Brissett for those games that he's going to start. And then I don't know how late Deshaun's going to come in and be like, oh, I'm back. Let's try and win games. Even though that receiver room is also not very deep. The defense, I don't think their defensive backs are super deep. They have Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. I think those are two top guys. But then you go past that, and now with everybody spreading teams out, you need to have a good nickel corner or good safeties. I don't think they have that right now. I think Myles Garrett is good, but the rest of that defensive line, what are we doing here? So I think the Steelers might have a better record. It'll be close, but I guess at the top of the division, I think the Ravens are going to win the division as well. They're going to be good again. Like we need to stop acting like that team wasn't playing Alejandro Villanueva for significant games last year. Like that was a injury wasteland last year. And the Bengals still, I guess they did beat them handily in those 2 games, but they didn't have all their guys. So I'm cool with how the top 2 go in order, but I definitely think the Steelers might be a little better. It's going to be close. This division's going to be close again.
Yeah. My thing, I said I wasn't going to defend myself, and I'm not really defending myself. My only thing is the Steelers are probably starting Mitch Trubisky for a not insignificant portion of the season until they turn to Kenny Pickett, and that just doesn't that doesn't work out for me personally. Back to the NFC, we're going to the South, where I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the division, 12-5. The Saints going 8-9. The Panthers 6-11, and maybe a little generous here, the Falcons 4-13.
I think the Bucs are probably going to have the best record in the regular season, and that's mainly because that division is not good. Like I love the Saints. I love the Saints mantra. I love their team. I love the physicality that they bring. You might be starting Trevor Penning at left tackle, and I don't think he's ready yet. And I think he has a real bad case of turf toe, so he might not even start. So now you're trotting Jameis Winston back out there off a torn ACL with a left tackle that probably isn't ready yet, or a backup who we don't even know. You're still starting Cesar Ruiz at right guard. You might not have Alvin Kamara for the first 6 games. We still don't know if he's going to get suspended or not. And now that defense took a significant hit because C.J. Gardner-Johnson is in Philly now. The Bucs are going to walk away with this division. They might win it in like record time because they just are too good at football. Tom Brady can't keep doing this. I'm convinced he cannot keep getting away with it. But every year he comes back and just looks stronger. So they're probably going to have the best record in football by the time the postseason rolls around. I think the Saints will be fighting for a wild card. But those other 2 teams, man, you could possibly convince me that the Falcons might have a better record if Desmond Ridder actually plays significant time. I could see that happening. But if not, man, that roster is just not good at all.
Yeah, they're pretty weak. The NFC South, outside of Tampa, I've heard a little bit of hype on the Saints. People like their defense. People like they have I don't know, the best group of weapons they've had since Breeze was there, probably. Jameis Winston's still their quarterback, and he's not going to get a lot of help from the O-line.
The thing is, I like Jameis. I want to like Jameis. But I don't think that offensive line is going to be great. I think losing Teron Armstead is going to hurt a lot, especially because you're going to be starting either a rookie or an unknown at left tackle. And not having Alvin Kamara for at least like the first 6 games is going to be huge because he's basically another receiver and running back. You can trot him out wide. You can put Chris Olave anywhere. You can put Michael Thomas anywhere because you have Alvin Kamara. If you don't have Kamara, then you're immediately going and depending on Olave, Michael Thomas, and Marquez Callaway, maybe?
We didn't touch on the Panthers too hard, and we don't have to. They're not important this year.
We don't. I don't even. Yeah. We'll move.
AFC South. I have. All right, you want to talk about a bad division? Okay, I have the Colts going 11-6 in first place. Then I have the Titans at 9-8, the Jaguars 4-13, and the Texans 3-14.
This division is a wasteland from hell. Like this is the Mad Max division where like nobody knows what's gonna happen. Things are gonna blow up. We're gonna look there like 5 weeks into the season, and like the Jaguars are playing a position player at kicker. The Colts are still gonna be the Colts. The Titans might have Derrick Henry running the ball and playing quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is just out there at receiver. I mean, he's done it before. And the Texans are still the Texans. And all that to say, I still don't think the Colts are a lock to win this division. Because we got to think about, like, that receiver depth is not great. Like, after Michael Pittman, you're relying on Alec Pierce to be the second round rookie. But even after him, Paris Campbell going to come back healthy? He hasn't been healthy in a minute. Ashton Doolin, Mike Strawn, sure, those are names. The offensive line wasn't that good last year. It certainly wasn't up to the Indianapolis Colts standards. And now you're bringing in another rookie left tackle. Quentin Nelson's still going to be Quentin Nelson. Ryan Kelly being back is huge for them, but there's an injury-prone offensive line. And then defensively, you're bringing in Gus Bradley, and we know what Gus Bradley is at this point. I think it'll help their pass rushers in that scheme, but you need corners who can be on an island. Stephon Gilmore's on one side, sure, but Brandon Faison was one of the most targeted corners in football last year. That's not a good thing. That's not great to have. So I don't think they're necessarily a lock, but I don't know if any other team's going to be good enough to win that division. I feel like this is the division where if you go 7-10, you'll probably win the division. I think the Titans are going to fall back massively, mainly because losing A.J. Brown hurts them a lot, especially if Treylon Burks isn't up to speed yet and if Robert Woods isn't healthy. Because then you're starting Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. You're going to be giving the ball to Derrick Henry at least 30 to 40 times a game. How long is his body going to hold up? Last year was the first significant injury he had, and it knocked him out for a majority of the season and the playoffs. He was not the same player in the playoffs. It is time to start wondering, like, is this window closing for the Titans? And I don't think the Jaguars are ready yet. They're not a team that's ready yet to win the division. If they win the division, I've already said I'm going to be on other streams and podcasts wearing like a Duval chef hat. I've made outrageous predictions if the Jaguars win the division, but look, man, if they win 6 games, I'll build a statue of Doug Peterson myself. I just need mediocrity from that team.
And you might get it. Now we're going to move over to your favorite team, the Jaguars, to the NFC East, where my favorite team resides, the Dallas Cowboys. All right, in first place, I've got the Eagles. I've got them going 11-6, as much as that hurts. Then I have Dallas in second at 10-7. I've got Washington in third, 6-11, and I've got the Giants at 5-12 for some reason. I don't know why I have them winning 5 games.
I don't think Dallas is winning double-digit games. I really don't. Like, I want to believe because I love Dak. I love Michael Parsons. They have the star power. Like, they'll win you a few games. But from players like 4 through 53, that is not great. The offensive line, not having Tyron Smith for an extended period of time, is not going to be good. Because now you're moving Tyler Smith, who was left guard, in rookie camp, when they wanted him to play left guard, you move him out to left tackle. Now you have a hole at left guard. Now you're trying to shuffle chairs in front of Dak Prescott, who's already been injured and has shown if he's not fully healthy, that offense does not run the same way. The thought coming into the season was they'd be able to run the ball effectively. If Tyron Smith isn't healthy, if Zeke Elliott still isn't healthy, these are a lot of injury-prone guys on this roster, on this offense. I think the biggest thing for me with Dallas is I have to see it from this receiver core. I got to see it from Jalen Tolbert if he can be the guy they want him to be in the slot. I got to see it for CeeDee Lamb to be the number one guy now. Is Michael Gallup going to be healthy? Again, lots and lots of ifs with this team. We also have to wonder if the defense will also continue being extremely lucky with turnovers. Trevon Diggs is not getting 11 interceptions again this year. That is not happening. But losing Randy Gregory really is going to affect that team, affect them a lot. So I don't think I have them winning double-digit games. The Giants are going to be bad. 5 wins might be generous for them, but I also think, I think you had Washington at 6 or 7?
6.
6. I think they finish around the same win range. I've been one of the biggest Carson Wentz haters, and I'll say that again. I'll say it proudly. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't know what Washington saw where they're like, yeah, he was with his best offensive coordinator and quarterback guru who led him to that 2017-2016 season, and wasn't good, they wanted to get rid of him, and they were like, "Yeah, I can fix him." No, what? Look at your surround. Look at what you have. Who are you? With Ron Rivera, what are you doing? But I like the order that you have them in. I just don't know if the records will be as high.
That's fair. I'm glad we didn't touch on the Eagles being good because it makes me sick to my stomach. Now moving over to the AFC East, where obviously I have the Bills in first place. I gave them 14 wins. It could be any range from like 12 to 14. They're going to win a lot of games. I've got the Dolphins in second place at 10-7. I've got the Patriots in third, winning 7 games. And then I have the Jets at 5-12.
This is going to sound crazy, I guess, when I look back on it. And Bill Belichick has beaten teams into submission with an extreme run game and no receivers and a defense that is still aging rapidly. But I don't think the Patriots are winning 7 games. I don't think that's a roster winning 7 games. One, losing all the guys they did on defense is crucial. Like, losing Dante Hightower is not great for that defense, especially in the run game. Offensively, they still don't have that guy at receiver, and you just traded Shaq Mason to the Buccaneers. So what's you going to do with the offensive line? And my biggest problem with the Patriots is they have Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as offensive coordinators. Like, that's if Logan Roy from Succession handed the company to Greg. Like, you can't. What's the plan here? They're trying to run the Shanahan McVay wide zone stuff, but you never were in that system. You never learned from that. So it's like you're trying to teach an offense that you never were in. They're trying to teach something they have no idea teaching. And you've seen it in the preseason. It has not looked great at all. Like, they left the Patriots starters on offense out for like 3 quarters against the Raiders backups. Like, that's not good. And I think the Jets also might be in contention for one of the worst teams in the league. Like, I like the talent. I just don't know if Zach Wilson's going to do it this year. And if he's not, you have to seriously consider getting another quarterback, because this receiver core is good, but the offensive line is still hit or miss, especially with Becton being out. Zach Wilson still might not be the person to lead that team, and you still have big holes on the defense. Miami and Buffalo are probably going to make the playoffs. Those are going to be the 2 teams. I don't think Miami's going to go far in the playoffs because of their quarterback, but the Bills are rightfully like one of the best teams in football.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the most prominent Tua defenders online, I have to. What kind of Tua defender would I be if I didn't give the Dolphins 10 wins? And the Patriots, I was kind of applying a Bill Belichick tax to them and being like, well, they're going to win this amount of games because they still have Belichick. And I still only got them up to 7 wins. All right. The final division in the NFC is the NFC West, one of the strongest divisions in football last year. This year, I've got the Rams winning it at 13-4. I've got the 49ers in second place at 12-5. I got the Cardinals at 8-9, and dead last, Seattle. I gave them 2 wins, and I'm being nice.
So the same way you are with Tua, I've been Geno-pilled by Seahawks community, Seahawks Twitter. I see it, man. I see the vision with Geno Smith in this offense. I don't think they're going to be good at all. No.
Breakout.
Yeah, I'm all in on the Geno breakout. They'll probably win like 4 or 5 games. They're probably going to win 1 game of the division that they shouldn't. But I'm in on this Geno offense. I just want to see what it looks like. But I really do think it's going to be Rams and Niners fighting for the top spot in that division. I think the Niners offense with Trey Lance is going to explode, because now Kyle Shanahan can run the same stuff that he did in Washington with RG3, the stuff the Ravens do with the counter bash, with the run game with Lamar. You can do that with Trey Lance. And that makes the offense so much more dynamic when you have so many versatile guys. Like, you have so many queens on the chessboard with George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel. You have all these chess pieces. So now you have to keep teams in their base personnel with multiple linebackers on the field. You don't want a linebacker guarding George Kittle or Kyle Juszczyk. But if you don't have them on the field, they're going to mow you down in the run game. It's just Kyle Shanahan's the best offensive play caller in football. And giving him Trey Lance is like giving him another piece to the chessboard. The Rams are going to win the division. I think the top end talent is just too good. It is worth mentioning. I don't know what's going on with Matt Stafford's elbow. That's been very kind of, everybody's downplayed it. Sean McVay downplayed it. Matt Stafford downplayed it. But now we're going to see tomorrow, like, is he actually, like, injured for real? Because this might not be good, because the Rams had Matt Stafford do a lot last year. Like, that offense was very different from the Jared Goff offense, where they had him in empty, he was making the throws. And that's a good thing, but if he's hurt, that offense is going to hum like it did.
I don't know if I could name the Rams backup.
I think it's John Wolford.
Well, there we go. It's still John Wolford.
I'm just a sicko. John Wolford, I think.
I remember he started like a playoff game maybe a couple years ago.
He started that Seahawks, and they won, and that was basically the end of the Russell Wilson era. The Cardinals are a weird team.
This is what I wanted to talk about.
I don't like Cliff Kingsbury.
No,
I
don't like anything about the Cardinals right now.
I don't like it. I don't like what they're building. I don't like the depth on that roster, and I don't think the top end talent is enough to get them over the hump now that the Niners actually have a real quarterback. Like, their best players probably DeAndre Hopkins, and he's going to be out for the first 6 games. So now Kyler Murray is throwing to Hollywood Brown. AJ Green's still there. I just don't think Cliff Kingsbury is a good head coach. I think he's a great coordinator. I think he's a great play caller when it comes to an offense. Those teams falling off a cliff in the back half of the season, it's not like an aberration. It's a trend now. And that trend starts with the head coach. Of course, Kyler gets hurt, but that offense is very static, and it's very air raidy, and you can't run the air raid in the NFL because everybody's fast.
I know how the running back position is viewed these days. James Conner is not a RB1.
Their roster building needs to be called into question a lot more than it should have. It's weird because Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim just got contract extensions. And that roster is not great. Like, they drafted 2 middle linebackers, like, consecutively, and neither of them play a lot. Like, they're just now figuring out that Isaiah Simmons is a safety and not a linebacker.
We're going to move on to the AFC West, which this was... Making this prediction was, like, harder than, like, AP calculus. Like, I still don't feel great. I think I feel good about the order. It's the records that's like, well, this has definitely never happened before with 4 teams being this good in the same division. So all these records, I don't know. But here's what I have. I've got the Chargers winning the division at 13-4. I have the Broncos winning 12 games. Then I have the Raiders in 3rd.
Oh, no.
With the same record as the Chiefs, each winning 10 games. All right.
No.
I'm not even going to turn the clock on. We need to talk this one out.
Oh, no, you're doing it. You are believing in the Chargers.
I'm just
I don't know.
Herbert pilled.
I don't know if I can yet. I think the Chiefs are going to start slow just because that offense is going to start a little slow, but they're going to end up with the best division they're going to end up with the best record in that division because they still have the best quarterback, they have the best play caller, and I think now you're not going to be able to drop 8 or play off as much because they're going to be able to run the ball. I think they started a gradual shift away from being the super spread, air raid, like West Coasty offense that Andy Reid has put in over the past couple of years. They're going to get back to what true Andy Reid football is. That's kind of running the football, a lot of zone, the fullback usage is going to go up. And I think that's really good considering where schematically the defenses are going in the NFL. A lot of lighter boxes, a lot of lighter players. Now you're just going to be able to hit people over the head with Michael Burton, and you have a great run-blocking offensive line. Orlando Brown Jr. was traded to the Chiefs in order to get better at run blocking. Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey are great at run blocking. They need to lean into that more. Don't make the runs RPOs. Take the pass option off. Just run. I think the defense is going to struggle initially, but I have too much faith in Spagnuolo in getting that defense turned around. My biggest question for the Chargers is how long is it going to take to get that defense up and ready? Because I like the names. It reminds me a little bit of, remember when the Eagles had the Dream Team? When they got all the names?
J.C. Jackson is not Nnamdi Asomugha.
He's not Nnamdi Asomugha. I'm not calling him Nnamdi Asomugha. But I need to see them put it in action first. Like, I can see the vision of what they want to do, but I just need to see it executed. Because I know what Brandon Staley's defense is going to look like schematically. I know the personnel that he has. I know how he's going to deploy it. I just got to see it happen, like, in real time.
The run defense is still a big question.
Yeah, I still don't like their linebackers. Their linebacker group might be one of the worst, if not the worst group in the NFL. It is, I guess for the other two teams, the Raiders are probably going to finish at the bottom of the division, but that shouldn't say anything about how good or bad the Raiders are. I just think their holes are massive at important positions. Like, the offensive line is still a major, major, major question mark, especially with Derek Carr back there. And then the Raiders' corners and secondary, still not super great. Like, you have the pass rush. Chandler Jones and Max Crosby is a great pass rushing duo. I think they play off each other really well. The secondary is not going to be too great. I don't know. I think they should have been the ones to trade for James Bradberry instead of the Eagles. But those are two big holes. And then the Broncos, I just need to see it from Russ. I think Russ is the biggest thing. I'm not big on, like, Russ's downfall is happening in the moment, but it is worth questioning if the Russell Wilson offense actually works, like, in the NFL, if that's sustainable. With the throw it deep, don't throw it anywhere else. It's like a good three-point shooter. Like, yeah, when he's on, it's great. It looks awesome. When he's not on, it looks horrendous. And I think that's what Nathaniel Hackett is going to bring to Russell Wilson. I think he's going to bring some of that structure. It's a lot like what Aaron Rodgers went through before he turned back into consecutive MVP, mind-bending Aaron Rodgers, where we remember he was throwing it deep a lot. It was the Aaron Rodgers offense where he was calling the plays at the line of scrimmage. But I think Nathaniel Hackett needs to give Russ some structure instead of forcing him or letting him run around and throw it deep all the time. Like, I think that structure is going to be needed for him more than structure is needed for Patrick Mahomes, simply because Russell Wilson is in his early to mid-30s, and he cannot keep running the way he used to. But I still think the Chiefs are going to win the division. It's going to be close because the Chiefs are going to start slow, and it's going to look real I'm not going to say it's going to look bad. It's going to look sluggish, and I think people are going to start making the think pieces like last year where it said, are the Chiefs done? No, they're not. They're not done. They're going to win the division. They're gonna go deep into the playoffs. I'm not going to say they're going to the Super Bowl, but this is still the Chiefs. I think they still have Patrick Mahomes.
All right, so now, before I do my Super Bowl prediction, we're going to go to awards. My Offensive Player of the Year, I have Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year, potential bias, I'm going Micah Parsons. And then for MVP, I've got Justin Herbert.
Okay, so all of those make sense. I agree the most with Justin Jefferson's Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to explode this year because they're going to basically take the Cooper Kupp playbook and give it to Justin Jefferson, which is going to make him so much better. Coming out of college, people thought he was the slot-only guy. We figured out he is outside. He's a very, very good outside receiver who can also be mind-bending in the slot. So you give him all the Cooper Kupp routes and basically give him all the choice stuff that Cooper Kupp ran. Now you're getting him isolated on linebackers and smaller DBs. He's going to cook in that offense.
I think he was already the best receiver in the league. So
I think he's second. I still think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league, but Justin Jefferson is well on his way. Like by the end of this year, we could be talking about him as the best receiver in the league. Defensive player of the year, I think Micah Parsons. I understand it because he's going to put up a lot of numbers because he just has to in that defense. I guess I'm at the point where until he's out of the league, I'm just going to say Aaron Donald because he's the best player in football.
Yeah.
Like game in, game out, he is from snap to snap the best player in football. I think he's still going to put up insane numbers. Like last year, he was double teamed at the highest rate and also had the best pass rush win rate as a defensive tackle. Like his number for pass rush win rate compared to double team rate was off the charts. And he's going to do that again this year. The only thing that potentially stops him is age, and I think he's just getting into his 30s. He might not even be 30 yet.
Here's a thing that I think stops Aaron Donald is voter fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick him. I don't like last year 1 and 2 were TJ Watt and Micah Parsons in voting, and Donald was probably better than Parsons last year.
See, I think what Parsons did last year that got him so many votes was, one, being a rookie, and two, generating 11 and a half sacks by being as versatile as he was, where you could line him up on the edge and play off the ball. I think that's a good recipe for him to win again this year. But I think Aaron Donald is just still like we talk about him the same way we talk about LeBron, and it is rightful.
Yeah.
Because I just think like, hey, like there's nothing else I can say statistically. Like I just say like he's Aaron Donald. That's all you really need to say.
That's fair. If the question was who's the best defensive player in the NFL and not who I think is going to win the award, the answer is Aaron Donald. All right. So finally, my Super Bowl pick, which has changed so many times, and there's absolutely no way that it's going to be right. So apologies in advance to Bills Mafia. I have the Bills winning the Super Bowl against Tampa.
I think both of those teams are honestly like I've been going back and forth between the Bills in Tampa and the Bills and the Packers for a long time. And like I think the biggest thing for the Packers is if David Bakhtiari comes back healthy, like that offensive line gets extremely better, and they were already really, really good. And it's Aaron Rodgers. Like I'm not doubting Aaron Rodgers anymore. I think they're gonna have the best defense in the league. But man, I just think if it's not this year for the Bills, I don't know when it's gonna happen. Like it has to be this year. So I guess my Super Bowl pick probably would be the Bills over. Oh man, it's probably gonna be the Bills over the Buccaneers right now. I agree, but I don't know if David Bakhtiari is gonna be healthy by the season.
I'm a generational Packers hater. I've grown up around Packers fans my entire life. Family member Packers fans. Like the damage it would do to the league where everyone follows trends if Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl with Allen Lazard as his wide receiver 1 would be irreparable.
It'd be horrendous.
We would start talking about wide receivers like they were running backs.
I think we're already starting to get to that point. We're already getting there.
Even though the last, like, however many Super Bowl winners had an elite wide receiver. But,
yep.
I love Green Bay's defense. Aaron Rodgers, obviously amazing. I think I picked Tampa based on, like, the vibes or the narrative. Like, Josh Allen beating Tom Brady just seems like something the NFL would cook up. I'm glad we agreed at least on the Super Bowl prediction. I went back and forth a lot. The Bills were kind of a lock, but, you know. As far as preseason goes, we'll see how it feels like once we get into the season.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to write this. I'm doing a predictions piece for Sbnation that should come out either today or tomorrow. I'm sure it'll probably be looked back at like 4 weeks later, like a quarter way through the season, and like the Bills are like 2-5, and I'm just gonna be like, man, I hate this. It's gonna look terrible. I'm about to be ratioed.
Does any predictions piece ever age well? Honestly,
No, none at all.
no,
None
it's
at
not
all.
possible. All right, thank you for spending your time uh, in between getting ready for the season. Once again, on social media, Acosta 32 underscore JP. It's written right in front of me, and I still messed it up. Sbnation. I don't have anything else to plug for myself, so thank you to everyone for watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed my predictions getting absolutely sauteed. Um, and make sure to follow JP, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.